Leeds United were one of the favourites to get promotion this year, but as we all know, that didn't happen. Southampton beat them in the playoff final, making it their 4th loss in a playoff final in a row. Guys, I think it's about time I stepped in. So today, I'm going to take charge of Leeds United with one goal in mind. Win them the Champions League to crown them the best team in the world. But with the Euros kicking off today, I thought I'd put a little twist on this. This wheel has every country who's playing in the Euros on it. And every time I want to make a signing, I'll have to spin this wheel, and whichever country it lands on, I have to buy a player from that nation. But to make things interesting, I'm allowed only one signing per nation. So here we go, guys, season 1 with Leeds United, and I feel kind of bad for them that they didn't get promotion because this team has got so much talent in it, it's actually ridiculous. I mean, they've got Dutch winger Somerville, they've got French attacking midfielder Jorginho Rutter, not to mention Italian right midfielder Wilfred Gnonto, and of course these youngster Archie Gray, who if I'm not mistaken is one of Leeds United fans' favourite players. It's also, as we all know, an insanely young side as well, so we've got no issues when it comes to an age factor. And there is, of course, the very good budget for a championship side, 39 million to be exact. Now, you may have noticed it's decreased from 43 million. Let me just explain why. Because we're treating this like it's a new season, guys. Every player that was on loan to us has been terminated, and every player that was out on loan has been recalled. And this indeed means as well that the championship table has indeed been updated, with the relegated sides being removed and the promoted sides being added. But as I'm looking at the team, I've realised there is one more thing that I've got to tell you lot. Because I'm only signing players from nations who are participating in the Euros, every single player we've got whose nation isn't playing in the Euros, I have to either release this season or sell on. And this really stings because we're going to be selling or releasing players like Ilya Gruev, Brendan Aronson, and of course Ethan Ampadu. But I suppose the good thing is once we sell all those players on, we'll have a seriously good budget to work with to get Leeds United back into the Prem. And let's be honest with how good this team is on paper right now, our number one priority has to be promotion, so as soon as we sell these players on, the better in my opinion. And there we go, guys, we have sold every single player on that transfer list, and we've now got 66 million to spend. Now all we got to do is figure out our tactics, then we can get on to spinning that wheel to find out who we can sign. Now formation wise, I reckon we stick to what we've got right now. The 4-2-3-1 is actually a pretty stellar formation for Leeds United. And with us going for automatic promotion, we are going to be using the gegenpressing tactical vision. We aren't going to give our opponents a second to breathe on that football pitch. And guys, whilst I was selling all the players who aren't playing in the Euros this year, I was converting Somerville to become a left winger as opposed to a left midfielder who's going to go to 78 rated. Brilliant. And I've done the same with Wilfred Gnonto. He's currently 74 rated. He's going to go up to 75 overall. 19 years old. That's not bad at all. But now that that's taken care of, I fully believe that this is the strongest starting 11 we can feel prior to making any signings, that is. And as you guys know, we've got a lot of money to spend now that we sold all the players not participating in the Euros. So there's only one thing we've got to do now, and that's to go to that wheel to see which country we can buy from. I'm honestly unsure whether I want a big country first or a small one first. Slovakia, okay, off the top of my head, I really don't know who I can buy from that country. But because I can only sign one player from Slovakia, you better believe I'm going to make this transfer count, man. The question is, who the hell am I actually going to buy? But guys, I have found a very good midfielder, Stanislav Lobotka, 28, 83 overall. My only issue is he's worth quite a bit of money. I don't want to blow all of my money on the first signing. I mean, granted, we've got 66 million, but signing Lobotka is going to cost upwards to 40 to 45 million. I want at least to get 2 or 3 signings in season 1. And guys, I think I know who I'm going to sign from Slovakia. David Hanko, still in his mid-20s, 81 overall. He's going to go straight into that starting 11 and massively improve it. And just like that, guys, for 35.5 million, David Hanko now plays for Leeds United. And one thing I love about this transfer, he's come from Feyenoord, ladies and gents, so this transfer isn't that unrealistic in the slightest. And on top of that, we've got 28 million to spend, ladies and gents, so depending on what nation we land on next, there's potential for another 2 signings in season 1. So without further ado, let's see which nation we can buy from next. Ukraine. Okay, that one I'm not too sure about. There is one player, but I don't think he'd be in our price range. I am, of course, talking about Artem Dovbyek. He's 26, 81 overall. He's absolutely lit up the Spanish league this year, but he's worth between 43 and 34 million. I don't know, even with a player swap deal, if we can afford it. But there's only one way to find out, as I'm offering 23 mil alongside Robin Koch, who's worth 50 mil and a 25% sell-on clause. If this doesn't work, I don't know what will. Will Girona accept it, though? They want 27.7 million, no sell-on clause. Okay, we can make this deal happen, but let's bring it down a bit. We still got to sort his contract out, remember, 25.5 million. Nope, they're sticking to their guns, 27.5 million. Let's bring it back down to 25.5. Come on, Girona, play ball with me. They've dropped it down 100k. Girona, man, you're killing me here. Let's go to 26 million. Hopefully 3.7 mil is enough to sort his contract out. They're sticking to their guns, man. I don't know whether 2.3 mil will be enough, but I feel like we're going to have to find out. Yeah, we're just going to have to accept it, man. I'm just hoping to God we've got enough money to actually sign him properly now. Thankfully, we were just able to afford him as we've just signed him on a 4-year deal. But we've almost bankrupted ourselves in the process. We've got 66k left. That's our transfer window done for season 1. But I think we've had a very good transfer window. We haven't had the strongest nations given to us yet, and we've already got an 81 rated centre-back and an 81 rated striker. If I'm being honest, guys, I think we've got promotion in the bag this year. The question is, guys, are they going to do what they did in real life and choke it, or are they actually going to pull it off this time? Well, guys, if these stats are anything to go by, I think we may have done it. Look at the man, Dovbyek, Somerville, Nonto, Bamford, Rotter, absolutely phenomenal from all of them. And I'm not being funny, the improvement is disgusting. Dovbyek's gone up by 3, Hanko's gone up by 2, Somerville up by 6, Nonto up by 7 if my maths are correct. And look at the team morale, guys. Everything is leading to the fact that we may have got promotion. The question is, though, have we actually done it? Of course, we have 111 points on the board. We have absolutely tormented the championship. I mean, for goodness sake, West Bromwich Albion was second in the league and they were nowhere near us in the end. We also had an incredible FA Cup run, making it to round 5 before we lost to Bristol City. But we've had a stinker in the Carabao Cup, guys. Doncaster Rovers knocked us out in round 3. I mean, how the hell does that even happen? But we got to move past that, guys, because this Leeds United team that we took over at the start of this season is now officially back in the Prem. And despite how good our team is right now, we've still got to hang with the big boys of English football. And honestly, if that wheel isn't on our side next year, we may have a much tougher time in the Premier League than a lot of us realise. But before we go any further, did you lot know I'm racing this geezer right here, Raman, to 100,000 subscribers? I'm currently in the lead at the minute, but to win this race, I need your help. So if you're enjoying this video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Help me beat Raman to 100,000 subscribers. Well, guys, here we are in Season 2 of Leeds United, and it is official. We are back into the top flight of English football. And we've got a lot of money to spend in Season 2. 89 million to be exact. That's tremendous. And to be honest, I think we need it because whilst this team overall is very good, we desperately need a better left back, a better right back, and honestly, a better goalkeeper than Malier. But we all know it isn't that simple. It all depends on which nation we're actually allowed to buy from. So let's find out, ladies and gents. I think there's like 22 teams left on this list, and we're going to be buying from the Czech Republic next. And honestly, again, I can't think of a single player from this nation. I'm going to be honest, guys, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but their best player in Patrick Schick is absolutely useless to me because we've already got Artem Dovbyek up top. And obviously, I was after a left back or a right back, but their best defender is actually Ladislav Krejci, who's honestly quite tempting anyway. And I did say I was after a goalkeeper, and Leverkusen have got Matej Kovar playing for them, but honestly, I feel like if we wait this position out, we could get somebody a little bit better. But ultimately, I did have to make a signing from the Czech Republic, so I went with Ladislav Krejci, who I just spent 16 million on. I think he'll be a very good addition to the team, and with him being in his mid-20s, he's still got a lot of room to grow as well. He will obviously have a bit of competition to fight for that starting 11 position like Pascal Struijk and also Maximilian Werber, but honestly, I feel like if I just send them out on loan, that just resolves that problem just like that. And honestly, it was a no-brainer anyway because we still got 71 million to spend on whichever nation that we'll choose is for us. I must admit, I am hoping for a pretty big country this time. Oh my god, we've just landed on one. Portugal, that is absolutely incredible. Guys, there's literally so many options we could go for. We could go for Diogo Dalot for that right back position, 25 years old, 83 rated. We could also go for João Mario, who's 24 years old, 79 overall, but honestly, if we went for him over Diogo Dalot, that wouldn't really make too much sense, would it? But I feel like we've got to go for this guy, man. Diogo Costa, only 24, 85 rated. Even with our fullbacks being the weakest part of the team, having a world-class keeper in Costa will definitely make up for that. And just like that, our Season 2 window has just wrapped up as we've just spent 63.5 million on Diogo Costa. And that leaves our starting 11 looking like this going into Season 2. Now, Byram obviously is a weakness, but I don't think that'll make too much difference considering we've got Costa in goal. Don't get me wrong though, I know teams like the Bottle Jobs, Man United, City and Liverpool are absolutely going to tear us a new one. But that doesn't mean for a second we're going to get relegated. I feel like a mid-table finish is definitely on the cards. Or maybe a lower to mid-table finish, as we did finish 14th in the Prem, but we were a solid 11 points clear of the drop zone, and that's exactly what I was after. Well, look at this. We've won the FA Cup, beating Brighton 2-1 in the final. If I'm not mistaken, that means we've got Europa League football next year. And on top of that, we made the semis of the Carabao Cup. We got battered by Man City. Fair play, it's Manchester City, but we made the semis. That's insane. By the way, that's a serious rarity. Us doing really poorly in the Premier League and then absolutely smashing it in domestic competitions. What the hell's that about? But I've got a good idea what that's about, guys. 37-7 for Artem Dovbyek. I mean, this guy, what a goddamn player. He's an absolute goal machine. And guys, considering the fact we've only spent 2 years in charge of Leeds United and it's this good already, it's genuinely scary how good this team is. And I'm not being funny, if United have won the Europa League, I definitely feel like we've got a shot at it. But we definitely need that wheel to be on our side next year because we desperately need a better left back and we desperately need a better right back too. Okay guys, Season 3, what are we going to be getting this time? Italy or Poland? Italy, oh my god, finally we got one of the big ones. Unfortunately, I got ahead of myself. We've only got 60 million to spend, and honestly, that's not really enough to do what I want to do with this team. But we got to put that aside for now because above all else, we need a better left back than Byron, man. He's by a mile the weakest link in the team, and if we want to do well in the Europa League this year, we cannot have him in the team. But honestly, I'm going through the fullbacks that they've got, and I'm not impressed. I mean, Cristiano Barag, he's 32 years old and 80 overall. But there is Fabiano Parisi in his early 20s, 81 rated. But he's worth a lot of money, man. 45 to 36 million. If we're going to blow basically all of our budget on one player, I want it to be better than this guy. But thankfully, I switched the search to a left wing back and I found Federico DiMarco, and I completely forgot about this guy, but he's 27, 85 rated and his contract's running out, meaning we'll get a much cheaper deal. And that's exactly what we got, is we only had to spend 40 million on Federico DiMarco. But here's the thing, we've only got 14 mil left in our budget, and honestly, I don't think it matters what nation we land on that wheel. 14 million isn't going to get us anything. I personally think we're better off leaving the team like this because with Federico DiMarco in our team now, look at the state of it, man. We're genuine contenders to win the Europa League in my opinion. I mean, the group we've been put in isn't exactly that good. Vitoria SC, Young Boys and Shamrock Rovers. We should annihilate Group H. Granted, it's not been the best of starts in the Premier League though. 1 win from our first 3 games, that's not really that good. But as long as in the Premier League at least we finish higher than we did last year, I'll be happy. But to be honest, I'm more concerned about how we do in Europe. And so far, by the looks of it, we've smashed it. We've topped Group H, 6 wins from 6, undefeated with flying colours. And guys, we've beaten Juve in the round of 16. Oh my god, Juve are no joke. We could actually win the Europa League. And we've just about beaten Frankfurt in the quarters as well. But somehow we get battered by Marseille in the semis 5-2 on aggregate after beating Juve, who in my opinion are a far superior team. But to be fair, they did go on to win it, so honestly fair play to them. I can't lie though, I'm so proud of these guys for how they've done in Europe. The question is, how the hell have they done everywhere else? Well, to be fair guys, they've smashed it in the Premier League top 10 and they were only 4 points outside the top 6. But we did have an embarrassing show in the Community Shield as we lost to the Bottle Jobs on penalties, man. We've got to be doing that against the Bottle Jobs. But we've redeemed ourselves by winning back-to-back FA Cups and we're once again in the Europa League. How the hell we pulled that off, I never know, man, but I don't care. We've got European football once again. And get this, Preston North End have won the Carabao Cup, beating Newcastle in the final. Fair goddamn play. But coming back to us for a second, guys, look at Artem Dobiet, man. 39 goal contributions in 60 games is absolutely outstanding. I cannot believe I've waited until almost the end of FC24 to use this guy. He's so good. And guys, despite us not getting top 6 football, we are once again in the Europa League because we've won the FA Cup, which means that we definitely need to shore up some of the areas of weakness that we've got in this team next year. And this not only means that next year the wheel needs to be on our side again, but we definitely need the board to be on our side because we can't really do much with only 60 million. Thankfully though, in Season 4, we've been given 31 million more than last year, 91 million to be exact, and honestly, we desperately needed that extra boost in money. Because if we are to take Leeds United to that next level, we need a better right back than Christensen and a better CDM than Rocket. And we've got more than enough to pull this off now, guys. The question is that wheel going to give us a couple of good nations? An England or a France or a Germany or a Spain wouldn't go down amiss. Albania, that is not what I was after ideally. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm not too sure who the best players from Albania are, but I'm pretty sure none of them are a CDM or a right back. But I completely take that back, ladies and gents. Christian Aslani is 24, 82 rated. He's not worth that much. You better believe I'm signing this guy up. And just like that, guys, for 42.5 million, that is exactly what I did. And now that we switch to the 4-3-3 attacking variation, Aslani fits straight into that starting 11 like a glove. But we still got 45 million to spend, and ideally we desperately need a better right back than Christensen, so hopefully that wheel can go 2 for 2 and give us a really good nation. Let's see who we get though, because Albania wouldn't have been my first choice for a centre mid, but we got very lucky with it. Spain, oh my god, yes, we have got lucky. 2 for 2, thank you, wheel. Unfortunately though, getting Spain as our next nation isn't exactly the best news that I thought it'd be, because right now Arnau Martinez is their best right back. And he's an incredible player, don't get it twisted, but he's worth between 80 and 64.7 million. He's a little bit out of our price range right now. But there are a couple of players that we could sell that we don't use anymore, like Pascal Struijk, who's worth 21 million, so we could get about 25 to 28 million for him. There's Christensen himself, worth 16 million, so we could get about 20 to 25 for him. And there's Maximilian Weber worth 15.5 million. Honestly, guys, we may just be able to pull this off after all. And just like that, Rasmus Christensen's gone to United for 16 million. I also sold Diego Llorente to Aston Villa as well. Maximilian Weber's the next out of the door as he's joined Palace for 20.1 million. And finally, Pascal Struijk has joined Arsenal for 23.7 million. And that leaves us 106 million on the dot, which basically guarantees us Arnau Martinez. And there we go, guys. He is officially a Leeds United player for 80 million on the dot. And just look at the state of this starting 11 now, man. Not only should we be winning the Europa League outright, we should definitely be at least a top 4 contender now. As for the Europa League, guys, we are in Group C this time alongside Lyon, Besiktas and FCSB. And whilst it is a little more competitive, I'm defo still expecting to wipe the floor with this group. Exactly how we're currently wiping the floor with the Premier League. 3 games played, 3 wins, undefeated. But one thing's for certain, guys, after this season we have to start playing Champions League football. This team right now is far too good for the Europa League. And thankfully we've cracked into that top 4 and very nearly won the Premier League, man. 5 points off the top spot. But you know what, guys, I feel like with Leeds United we're inevitably going to become the best team in England. Unfortunately we're not quite there yet, as Man City not only beat us to win the Premier League title, but they beat us to win the Community Shield too. They've also won the bloody FA Cup as well. But we finally get one over them as we beat them to win the Carabao Cup. Get in! As for the Europa League, we do indeed once again top our group with flying colours. But we get knocked out in the round of 16 by Galatasaray. I mean, really? Last year we lost to Marseille after beating Juve, now we're losing to Galatasaray? And this just makes it worse because I'm really not being funny. We should be absolutely dismantling Galatasaray. Especially with how well the team's performed this year. 37 goal contributions for Dobiet, 25 and 13 for Somerville, and 18 and 3 for Nanto. But the good news is we are finally playing Champions League football with Leeds United from next season onwards, and honestly it's about damn time as well. And with that comes a lot of damn money as well, but there is only one issue we're going to face next season. If we land on a nation that isn't in the top 10, we're going to find it very difficult to improve our starting 11, so honestly, whilst we've got the money, we need the luck luck on our side with that wheel. So without further ado, let's see what the wheel is going to give us to sign this time. Oh my god, England, that is absolutely phenomenal. We could genuinely win the Champions League in our first year with this. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure yet which position we should look for England, but honestly, I reckon we go for the highest rated players possible. I mean, we certainly got the money for it, as we've got 141 million. The question is, who are we going to go for? Now, I'll be honest, guys, I've looked extensively through this list of centre midfielders that are English, and I'm really goddamn disappointed, but it has given me an idea on what I can do. There's a certain right back by the name of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who, when you convert him to a centre midfielder, he shoots up like a rocket in overall. I mean, we can definitely afford him. He's worth between 72 and 57 million. So honestly, it's just a case of signing him and then hoping that his development plan will let this happen in due time. And there we go. For 67 million, he is now officially a Leeds United player. Now we've just got to hope that converting him to a centre midfielder won't take literal years. Guys, we have just had the fattest W so far with Leeds United. 4 weeks it will take him to convert to a centre midfielder. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got our midfield sorted. And we've still got 64 million to spend, so whilst Trent Alexander-Arnold's converting to a centre midfielder, I reckon we have one more spin of that wheel to see who we can sign from next. Now, we have just been insanely lucky picking England. Next up, it is going to be Hungary. And honestly, I genuinely can't think of anybody from there. My mind's going blank every single time almost. Now, if we had more money, I would go for Dominic Szoboszlai. I mean, this guy is absolutely fantastic. He wouldn't actually get into the starting 11, but he'd be a great option on the bench. But we could definitely go for Milos Kerkez as a backup option for a fullback. He's only 23, 83 rated, and more importantly, well within our budget. And that officially wraps up our transfer windows. For 45.4 million, Milos Kerkez is now a Leeds United player. And whilst we were signing Milos Kerkez, Trent Alexander-Arnold's training to become a centre midfielder has indeed finished. He's going to go up to 91 rated. That is absolutely incredible. And I'm not being funny, guys, but I feel like with how good our starting 11 and bench is right now, we've got a genuine shot of winning the Champions League first time. I mean, we should at least make it out to the group stage. We're in Group B alongside teams that, quite frankly, aren't on our level. However, it hasn't been the best start in the Premier League. One win from our first 3. Considering how good this team is, that's not that good, is it? But I guess only time will tell how good this team will perform this year. But honestly, in my opinion, this is one of the strongest and best teams in the world, and I feel like we may just prove that this season. But apparently not, guys, as we've actually dropped down in the table, only 4th in the league this time. I mean, granted, it was very close at the top of the table, but honestly, with the quality we got in our team, we should really be winning the league. But it's the same story in the Community Shield as well. Manchester City once again beat us to win that too. And they've once again won the FA Cup. Fan bleeding tasty. In the bottle jobs have won the Carabao Cup. Honestly, this season can get straight into the bin. And in the Champions League, we didn't actually top the group like I thought we would. We were joint top with Napoli, but regardless, we make it through to the round of 16 regardless. And that's as far as we made it, because we drew up against the final boss of the Champions League, PSG, and got battered 5-3. Bloody hell. Honestly, I don't know what the hell was going on with this team, man. Whether it was because we were unlucky or just didn't perform out one way or the other, it wasn't good enough. But surprise, surprise, Dovbyk is our top goal scorer. 38 goals and 1 assist in 54 games. Seriously though, what a goddamn striker. I thought for sure this year we'd have won the Champions League and the Premier League, but apparently we still got a lot more work to do. But the good news is, because we've once again finished inside the top 4, we've got Champions League football next year, which means financially we are absolutely sound. The big question is though, going into next season, which nation are we actually going to be able to buy from? Well, ladies and gents, there's only one way to find out. We're going to spin this wheel for season 6 and we're going to land on Turkey. Okay, there are some balls from Turkey off the top of my head anyway. I mean, straight away I think about Orkun Koksu, who plays for PSG, but the only issue is we really don't need another centre midfielder. I mean, in the team we've got Archie Gray, who's 87 overall, 91 rated Trent Alexander-Arnold, and on the bench, if anything happens to them, we've got Aslani, who's 85 overall. To be honest, we're primarily looking for either a centre-back, an attacking midfielder better than Greenwood, and a winger. And with that being said, I found a centre-back, Mary Demiral, who's still playing at Saudi Arabia. He's 30 years old, 81 overall. He'll defo do a job on the bench. And just like that, guys, we signed him up on a 3-year deal for 15.7 million. And we've still got a hell of a lot of money to spend, ladies and gents. 193 million to be exact. So we're having a couple of more spins of that wheel at least. The question is it going to deliver? Remember, we're after a backup winger and a backup attacking midfielder. Croatia. Okay, that is interesting indeed. But guys, I'll be real, I'm looking at Croatia's attackers, and overall, guys, it's pretty damn average. I mean, there's Damir Djuric, who's 21 years old, 83 overall, but not only is he a centre forward, he's a regen, and ideally, I only want to sign real players. But then again, they do have Martin Batterina, only 25, 85 rated. I mean, he'll definitely do more than a decent job on the bench, man. We found our backup car. And for 58 million on the dot, ladies and gents, the deal was done. And look at that bench now, guys. We just need a better winger to replace either Nonto or Somerville, and we're good to go. So far, this wheel has genuinely been out of this world outrageous, man. Switzerland. Are they a good nation for wingers? I'm really not sure. Unfortunately, guys, the winger position isn't exactly Switzerland's strongest suit. However, their strikes on the other hand are pretty decent. I mean, the Zeki Amdouni from Grenada, who's 82 rated at 27 years old. But I'm leaning more towards Noah Okafor. I mean, he's 28, 84 overall, and he's a far superior striker to Perot on the bench. And it is for that reason I have just signed him on a 3-year deal for 46 million. But now we're down to only 78 mil in our budget, so I reckon we've got one more spin of that wheel to try and find ourselves a backup winger. So with that being said, ladies and gents, let's spin the wheel to see if we can finally get our hands on one. Austria. Okay, I'm pretty sure they've got a couple. And thankfully, guys, they have Patrick Wimmer. He's 27, 83 overall. We can easily convert him to a winger, but ladies and gents, we have finally found our backup winger. And in the end, guys, to finalise our transfer window, we spent 37.7 million on Patrick Wimmer. And his training to become a right winger is just finished. Is he going to go up in overall? No, he's not. That's a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. But guys, we have done a phenomenal job. This is how good our starting 11 looks going into Season 6. And just look at how strong our bench is, man. We've got the Premier League and the Champions League in the bag if we play well this season. Especially with how easy this group is that we've been put into. We're alongside Atalanta, RB Salzburg and Victoria Pleasant in Group C. And on top of that, look at the start we've had in the Premier League. 5 wins from 5. Not even Man City being able to pull that off. I'm telling you now, guys, this season is going to be special for Leeds United. It's all there for the taking. The question is, are they going to be able to take it? Words cannot express how disappointed I am. I cannot believe we lost the league title to freaking Arsenal by 1 point. We'd have freaking won it if we'd have drew on points, man. I just can't believe we lost the league title of all teams to bloody Arsenal, man. You have no idea how much this actually stings at the minute. To top it off, the bottle jobs knocked us out of the FA Cup in the quarterfinals. Honestly, why does it seem like this game's just trolling me at the minute? It's definitely trolling me. They've knocked us out of the Carabao Cup semis as well. Oh my god, Arsenal and the bottle jobs have really got it out for me in Season 6, haven't they? Thankfully, they weren't in our group, otherwise I'm pretty sure they'd have made sure we got relegated, but we do top Group C and we fly through to the round of 16. And that's where we absolutely dismantle Juve 4-2. And we've beaten PSG, the final boss of the Champions League. Oh my god, that's massive. We could be playing Man City, Madrid, Dortmund. Honestly, give me Dortmund over any of them teams. This is ridiculous at this point. We've beaten Manchester City and we're playing Real Madrid in the UCL final. I'm well aware our team is genuinely insane at this point, but that team is absolutely disgusting, man. I feel like this is going to be a lot tougher than we realise. But then again, our front four consists of players like Artem Dovbyek, Somerville, Rutter and Nonto. I really don't know why I'm too worried about this, because these guys are all world class and know exactly how to score goals. And on top of that, they are all in the starting 11 in the Champions League final. No suspensions, no injuries. Morale is sky high. We are ready for Madrid. And truth be told, I don't think Madrid are ready for us at the minute, because we've spent 6 years developing Leeds United from a struggling championship side trying to get promotion to being in the UCL final. The question is though, can they take that one giant leap to becoming the best team in the world? And they've done it. Wimmer, Somerville with a brace, Leeds United 3-1 on the night. Leeds United are officially the best team in the world. I am beyond happy with this, ladies and gents. We only sign players whose nations are participating in the Euros. In the end, we created an absolute monstrosity and ultimately the world best team in the end. And with that, our mission is done with Leeds United. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like, smash that subscribe button if you're new. Remember, we are racing Ramman to 100k, and I cannot do it without your guys' help. And if you are still here right now, you should click right here to watch this, because this is a banger as well.